Welcome back to Keep Up News Channel. Axel Rudakubana will have bounty on his head behind bars. Southport monster faces being held in isolation and moved around jails to protect him from being targeted by prison napalm. Axel Rudakubana has a bounty on his head and will never be safe around other prisoners, Mail Online has been told. The teenage killer is rumored to be being held in Belmarsh in southeast London, a top security prison that houses many of Britain's most dangerous killers, sex offenders, and terrorists. But Rudakubana may be moved to other prisons around the UK regularly for his own safety and held in isolation, meaning his 52-year term will cost the taxpayer more than £2.7 million. The Southport monster will be given a bumpy ride as he starts his sentence today, and fellow inmates will be racing to maim or kill him, it has been claimed. Even the nonces, a term of pedophiles, will want him dead, one career criminal told Mail Online today. He'll never be safe, and I wouldn't be surprised if the screws, guards, don't stand in anyone's way if someone came for him. On a Reddit thread, former prisoners said that if Rudakubana can't be killed, he will be maimed, most likely with prison napalm, a term for sugar dissolved in boiling water that is thrown on someone, causing life-changing burns and scarring. One said, "People on life sentences who have kids pride themselves on hurting people like this. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he gets everything that's coming to him." Another wrote, "I'm sure they'll give him an express ride to hell." A third said that the attack on Sarah Sharif's father, who was attacked with the lid of a tin of tuna, was a sign of what could happen to Rudakubana. Rich Jones, an army veteran who served 7 years for conspiracy to supply cocaine, said today that Rudakubana will be attacked sooner rather than later. If people can get to him, they will get to him, and it will be a matter of once he gets on the wings. If someone has an axe to grind in there, and they want to grind it, they will grind it with him because of what he has done, he said. Mr. Jones, now a public speaker and author, told the Liverpool Echo, "There will be some sort of justice somewhere down the line, and it will be something he has to deal with for the rest of his life. He will be looking at the fact that he may have the rest of his life in prison, and being locked up he will have his thoughts. I hope that gets inside his head and starts to cause him his own justice." The teenage knife attacker was yesterday jailed for at least 52 years for killing B.B. King, 6, Elsie Stankham, 7, and Alice da Silva Aguiar, 9, as well as the attempted murder of 8 other children and 2 adults at a Taylor Swift-themed dance class. He was spared a whole life term only because the horrific crime on July 29 last year happened 9 days before his 18th birthday, when he was a juvenile. But Mr. Justice Goose, passing down 13 life sentences, said, "It is likely he will never be released." Family members in Liverpool Crown Court took an audible breath as the sentence, thought to be the longest punishment handed to a killer of his age, was announced. Others held hands and hugged. In harrowing victim impact statements, the girls' families told how their lives had been destroyed. Alice's parents Sergio and Alexandra Aguiar said, "Life without Alice is not living at all." Elsie's mother Jenny Stankham said of Rudakubana, "What you did was not only cruel and pure evil, it was the act of a coward." Mr. Justice Goose said, he wanted to carry out the mass murder of innocent and happy young girls. Many might describe what he did as evil. Who could dispute it? Tory leader Kemi Badenoch said there was a strong case for amending the law so teenagers can receive whole life orders. And Southport's Labour MP Patrick Hurley said he had asked the Attorney General to review the sentence as unduly lenient. The judge said he believed Rudakubana would have killed all 26 children at the dance class had some youngsters not managed to escape and raise the alarm. Although the horrific crime did not meet the legal definition of terrorism, Mr. Justice Goose said, his culpability for this extreme level of violence is equivalent in its seriousness to terrorist murders. What he did has caused such shock and revulsion to the whole nation, that it must be viewed as being at the extreme level. It comes as Sir Keir Starmer pledged to rethink the definition of terrorism to provide greater emphasis on loners plotting atrocities after viewing extremist material online. The judge also said he believed that if he had not attacked the event, Rudakubana, who had followed instructions on inflicting fatal knife wounds gleaned from an Al-Qaeda manual, would have used a quantity of homemade ricin found under his bedroom floorboards somewhere else. The court heard the deadly poison, again produced following instructions in the terror manual the murderer had downloaded 3 times, could have been capable of killing up to 12,500 people if further refined. Yesterday's 5-hour sentencing hearing started 50 minutes late after Rudakubana, born in Cardiff to Christian parents who arrived in the UK having escaped the Rwandan genocide, refused to leave his cell. He was earlier seen by paramedics in prison and assessed as fit to attend. The court was shown chilling footage of Rudakubana on a 5-mile taxi ride from his home in Banks, Lancashire, to Southport. A green had pulled over his head and wearing a face mask, he got out of the taxi, ignoring requests from the driver to pay the £10 fare. He told a garage owner who tried to intervene, "What are you going to do about it?" Rudakubana then entered the dance studio, inflicting carnage in just 12 minutes. Dance teacher Leanne Lucas, who was stabbed herself, urged the girls to run away, and the footage showed screaming children running for their lives, some collapsing in the car park. In one painful scene, an 8-year-old girl escaping the building was shown being dragged back inside. She suffered horrendous injuries, but survived. Parents arriving to collect their children faced a scene one father likened to a war zone outside the building as he struggled to recognize his daughter whose hair was matted with blood. Ms. Lucas, 36, said she believed Rudakubana targeted us because we were women and girls, vulnerable and easy prey. Fellow dance teacher Heidi Little, who was unhurt, pushed children towards the stairs, then hid in a toilet with an 8-year-old girl and locked the door, urging the terrified youngster to be quiet as Rudakubana tried the handle. Only when she heard other children begging him to stop the carnage did she realize that not all had escaped. Hearing the disturbance, businessman John Hayes, based in a neighboring office, ventured onto the landing and saw Rudakubana holding his knife over the body of BB King. He retreated, followed by the defendant who swiped at him. As Mr. Hayes, 63, tried to grab the weapon, Rudakubana stabbed him in the leg. Body cam footage from 2 police sergeants who were the first to arrive and confronted Rudakubana at the top of the stairs showed him obeying instructions to drop his weapon. BB could be seen lying on the landing. Elsie Stankamp was found in the dance studio. Both girls had unspeakable injuries. Last night, Ms. Stankamp urged restraint in reporting the details of the injuries, fearing graphic details of her daughter's murder could be exploited on social media platforms for fueling hatred. Alice da Silva Aguiar collapsed outside and died 14 hours later. Prosecutor Diana Casey said Rudakubana's warped interest in genocide and mass murder had driven him to kill. Having researched atrocities committed by others, the evidence suggests that he set out to emulate them. On July 29, the prosecutor said. 3 children were killed, 2 of whom suffered particularly horrific injuries, which are difficult to explain as anything other than sadistic. His only purpose was to kill, and he targeted the youngest, most vulnerable in order to spread the greatest level of fear and outrage, which he succeeded in doing. In October 2019, as a 13-year-old schoolboy, the court heard Rudakubana phoned Childline and asked, "What should I do if I want to kill somebody?" before taking a knife into school with the intention of confronting a classmate he accused of bullying him. He was then expelled. He was referred to the Prevent Counter-Extremism program 3 times for viewing disturbing material online between 2019 and 2021, while police were called to his house 5 times, and it has emerged there were 15 missed chances for the authorities to intervene. Defense barrister Stan Riais KC said of Rudakubana, who has been diagnosed with autism, "There is no psychiatric evidence that could suggest a mental disorder." However, he did make a transition from a normal, well-adjusted child to someone capable of committing such shocking, senseless violence. The Prime Minister has promised a public inquiry into the failings to stop Rudakubana, and laws will also be tightened on knife sales. Children's Commissioner Rachel D'Souza said last night there could be no doubt that there was a failure of the state to protect these innocent children from Axel Rudakubana. Source: dailymail.co.uk. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.